President Trump put visa restrictions on several countries on earth when he took office this year, and Ghana remains the only country whose visa restrictions have been reversed by President Trump. Last Saturday, Ghana's Foreign Minister Nenebi Okudzeto Ablakwa gave the reasons why President Trump reversed course when it came to Ghana's visa restrictions. And I did my search and added on to what Honorable Okudzeto said. So I'm presenting to you the real reason President Trump lifted restrictions on Ghana. Before I do that, my name is Nenebi Tony. I'm a Ghanaian writer living in Dallas in the US. So I understand both countries, Ghana and the US. So let's get right into it. When President Trump was running for office in 2024, he had very strong stance on immigration. He promised to crack down on illegal immigration, increase deportations, decrease illegal crossings into the country, and generally keep Americans safe from foreign invaders, as he called it. And as we all know, he interpreted illegal immigration to go beyond just people who entered America illegally, to include people who entered America legally but overstayed their visa. Sidebar, I should have turned off my air condition before recording. I didn't do that, so you might hear the wind blowing. I'm sorry about that. And so back to it. Ghana was one of the countries who were corporate when it came to visa overstay. According to the US government, 21% of Ghanaians who were given visa to America overstayed their visas. Yeah. Actually, the US have a 15% threshold where if a country's citizens come to the US and overstay their visa, if up to 15% people do it, the US won't put sanctions on that country. But 21% is 7% over the 15% threshold. That is why the visa restrictions were put on Ghana, right? But Ghana's Foreign Minister, Nenebi Okudzeto Ablakwa, recognized that this happened in the month of July. And July is shortly before the new academic year begins in August in America. And a lot of Ghanaians needed to go for visa to visit the US for school and all that. So Nenebi Okudzeto flew to America to meet with the State Department. The State Department in America is their version of what we will call in Ghana the Foreign Affairs Ministry. So the State Department said to Nenebi Okudzeto that, well, this is the reason why we put restrictions on you. And Nenebi Okudzeto said, well, everything in diplomacy is about negotiations. So what do you want from us to lift these restrictions? Because my citizens need it. So the US said, well, we have some prisoners sitting in prisons in America that we need to deport, but it's hard to deport them to specific countries for whatever reasons. And we would like you to take on some of these people. And Ghana said, Okudzeto said, I don't know, I can't do that. Let me talk to the president of Ghana. And he went and met with the president of Ghana, John Mahama. And President Mahama told him that, well, we can't accept prisoners from America. You don't know what happened in 2015. If you don't know what happened, in 2015, Ghana accepted former Guantanamo Bay detainees, and it led to a huge scandal in the country. It went all the way to the Supreme Court of Ghana. The Supreme Court declared that Ghana's government can't accept deals like this from countries like the US without going through Parliament. So the detainees who were received to Ghana in 2015 were declared an illegal, unconstitutional action by the government of Ghana. So Ghana government couldn't just do that. So what do? Honorable Okudzeto said, Ghana's President Mahama said, Ghana has the ECOWAS protocol. Citizens of any West African country can fly to Ghana and live in Ghana for up to 90 days. I myself, I have flown from Ghana to Nigeria and Sierra Leone without visa. So you can do that if you're from a West African country. Fun fact, Ghana is the country with the most amount of Nigerians living outside Nigeria because of this protocol. So he said under the ECOWAS protocol, we can take in citizens of other West African countries if they want that. And two, Ghana is a Pan-African country who is known for our Pan-African credentials around the world. Ghanaians have taken in citizens of other African countries as a way of lifting the burden of those countries. During the war in Liberia, Ghana had Liberian refugees. During the war or the genocide in Rwanda, Ghana had soldiers who were defending Rwandan citizens against the orders of the UN. Yeah, Ghanaian soldiers risked their life for Rwanda. So our Pan-African credentials gives us the ability to take West African nationals into Ghana. So Honorable Okudzeto went back to the foreign undersecretary in the US or the state undersecretary, and she said, okay, we can look into that. And Honorable Okudzeto told her, wait, pause. I don't want just the visa restrictions lifted. I want the tariffs lifted too. Including the visa restrictions, the US put 15% tariff on Ghana. Yeah. So he said lift the tariff as well and also renew AGOA. Now, what is AGOA? Africa Growth and Opportunity Act was a law that was passed under President Clinton in the year 2000. And President Clinton offered African countries with good reputation around the world 0% tariff when they come to selling goods to America, right? So AGOA was renewed under President Bush in 2008. Fun fact, President Bush visited Ghana twice when he was president. His wife also visited Ghana on her own. His wife was flying to Liberia to attend the inauguration of the first female president of Liberia, but she felt safer landing her plane in Ghana and driving from Ghana to Liberia. So she did that. So the George Bush family has a very good reputation in Ghana, even though they have a bad reputation around the world. Fun fact, there is a highway in Ghana called George Bush Highway. Yeah. And I live in Dallas, so I know the George Bush Highway in Dallas. The George Bush Highway in Dallas looks exactly like the George Bush Highway in Ghana. So basically, George Bush Highway in Dallas, Ghanaians saw it and they were like, you know what? We need one of these in our country. So they did it. Exactly the George Bush Highway in Dallas replicated in Ghana. So let's get right into it. Obama also renewed the AGOA package in 2015, and the one Obama renewed will expire in 2025. It already expired last month in September. And so Honorable Okudzeto said the visa restrictions, remove the 15% tariff, and renew AGOA. And as it stands now, the visa restrictions have been lifted. The tariff restrictions conversation is ongoing. AGOA renewal conversation. I made a video to explain that because of the government shutdown, AGOA won't probably be renewed this month in October, but I'm hopeful it will be renewed by December, even if not for a long term, maybe for a year or two, right? And so the real reason President Trump and the US government lifted the restrictions in Ghana is because, one, Ghana has a very good reputation in America when it comes to doing trade with America. Over the years, from maybe 1966 till date, every president of the US have held a very good relationship with Ghana. In his first term, President Trump had a very good relationship with Ghana. And his second term, because of the tariff and visa restriction, it looked like President Trump was going to not have a good relationship with Ghana. But as Honorable Okudzeto confirmed, Ghana's relationship with the US remains intact. Two, Honorable Okudzeto is a good negotiator. Last week, I made a video where I said Honorable Sam George was a bad negotiator in how he handled the DSTV deal. Honorable Okudzeto is the opposite of Honorable Sam George when it comes to negotiations. He did a good negotiation job, and so he deserves commendation for it. And finally, Ghanaians who come to America and overstay their visa, even though they overstay their visa, do not engage in too many other crimes. And that is a good thing, because even though the visa overstay is still there, and we still have to find a way to reduce visa overstays, the fact that Ghanaians who live in America are not involved in too many crimes or not known for doing crimes made it easier for the government of Ghana to negotiate with the American government. That is the real reason President Trump lifted the restrictions on Ghana. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this, and have a good week. Talk to you later.